Welcome back, everyone. Get ready for another deep dive, and this time, we're heading to sunny Santa Barbara
Oh, nice.
for the Big 4-0.
The 40th.
Yep, the 40th anniversary of the Santa Barbara International Film Festival.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's huge.
pretty big milestone.
And we've got a ton of articles here all about this year's festival. They're buzzing about everything, the films, the panels, all the awards buzz.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, the red carpet moments we all love.
Of course. You can't forget about those.
Right. So what do you think, is SBF like the place where Hollywood glamour meets actual, genuine film passion?
You know, it really is. You see A-list stars right alongside these up-and-coming filmmakers, and they're all there, like, celebrating the art of cinema.
Yeah, I love that. And it looks like this year's going to be extra special. I mean, the 40th edition kicks off with a U.S. premiere, Jane Austen Wrecked My Life, which already sounds pretty quirky, right? Then they're closing with a missing part. Adds a little mystery to the mix, don't you think? For sure. And you know what else is cool? Roger Durling, he's the festival's executive director. He's put together a program that really seems to cater to everyone.
Oh, nice.
Like people who are looking for Oscar-worthy films, those who want to discover some hidden gems. SBF has got it all, I think.
That's awesome. And, you know, speaking of the Oscars, SBF has almost become like an Oscar predictor in the last few years. Remember Parasite?
Oh yeah, of course. It's green there right before it swept the awards.
Exactly. So Academy voters, they're definitely keeping an eye on SBF.
For sure. It's a place to be seen, especially if you're in the running for an Oscar.
And looking at this year's lineup, we might have some frontrunners already.
Oh, really? Like who?
Well, there's I'm Still Here. It's a Brazilian film with Fernanda Torres. I've heard some good buzz around that one.
Interesting.
Oh, and The Apprentice with Sebastian Stan.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah, people are raving about his performance.
amazing.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me just jot this down. So, Fernanda Torres and Sebastian Stan, and they're both nominated for Oscars.
Yes. And get this, they're both being honored at the Virtuosos tribute alongside other nominees.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, and it includes Carla Sofia Gascon from Emilia Perez, the nominated musical.
Oh, okay.
But let's just say things might get a little awkward on that stage.
Awkward. Why? Fill me in.
Well, Gaston has been involved in a bit of a scandal lately.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the details are kind of hush-hush, but there are rumors that Netflix, they produced Emilia Perez, might stop her from even going to the Fruitstable.
Wow, that changes things.
Yeah.
So we've got potential Oscar winners, some red carpet drama brewing, and it's a 40th anniversary celebration.
It's going to be big.
What more could you ask for in a film festival, honestly?
Right. But SBF is more than just the films and the stars. It's really about those deep conversations about filmmaking.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's where the panel discussions come in.
Oh, yeah, those. I was just about to bring those up. The lineup this year is insane, especially the writers panel. We've got nominees like Mona Fastvold from The Brutalist, Peter Strawn, who wrote the screenplay for Conclave. That one won a Golden Globe, by the way.
Wow.
And then there's Jesse Eisenberg. He wrote and starred in A Real Pain.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, what's really interesting about this panel is the mix of experience you have there, like established screenwriters alongside these fresh new voices.
I know.
It's going to be a really cool environment for discussion.
For sure. And then we've got the animation panel, which this year seems to be all about celebrating these innovative new films like Kent Zilbalodi's Flow and Kelsey Mann's Inside Out 2. But they're also honoring legends like Nick Park, Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, yeah, a classic. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's really cool that they're including animation. It often gets overlooked as a serious art form.
Yeah, for real.
But anyone who's seen, Inside Out, they know that animation, it needs just as much creativity, storytelling, and technical skills as any live-action film.
Totally agree. And personally, I'm super intrigued by the International Features panel. We've got directors like Jacques Audiard with Emilia Perez, Walter Salles with I'm Still Here, and Mohamed Rasulov with The Seed of the Sacred Fig.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it's a fantastic way to explore global cinema and all the diverse stories out there.
Yeah, and SBF really emphasizes that diversity, not just in terms of nationality, but also through panels like the women's panel and the producers panel.
Right.
The women's panel, especially, I think that one's going to offer some really interesting insights, especially with filmmakers like Smriti Mundra, who directed I Am Ready, Warden, and then you have Diane Warren, a legend. She wrote the music for the 6888.
It sounds like SBF is really putting in the effort to showcase a wide range of voices and perspectives in the film industry.
They really are. And that's what I love about this festival, it's not just about showing the finished product, it's about celebrating the whole process of filmmaking.
Yeah.
The challenges, the wins, the stories behind the stories.
Okay, so to recap, we've got Oscar hopefuls, red carpet drama, panels that are packed with insightful discussions. It sounds like SBIFF 2025 is going to be one to remember.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah, I think so too.
For sure.
I'm excited.
Me too.
All right, let's move on and talk about some of the specific films.
Okay, sounds good.
Right, let's do it.
Yeah, it really is. And with SBIFF's track record for highlighting potential Oscar winners, going there feels like you're getting a sneak peek at who might be holding those golden statues soon,
You're so right. Okay, speaking of those coveted statues, let's talk about some of these nominated films in more detail.
Okay, yeah.
We touched on I'm Still Here and The Apprentice, but what about Emilia Perez? I feel like I've been hearing a lot about that one.
Yeah, Emilia Perez is interesting for a couple of reasons. First off, it's a musical, and those don't always get a ton of love during award season,
Yeah, that's true.
But the early reviews are saying it's a really powerful story with an amazing soundtrack.
Interesting.
So it could be a contender.
And with both Fernanda Torres and Carla Sofia Gascon nominated, I mean, there's a real chance it could pick up multiple awards, right? But thinking about that whole Gascon situation.
Yeah, that's the thing. If she doesn't show up, it could definitely affect the film's momentum. Award season can be a popularity contest just as much as it is about the art.
It's true. It makes me think about the other nominees like Baby Girl, Wicked, Sing Sing. Being at SBIFF could really change how voters see them, don't you think?
Totally. That's the power of a festival like this. It's not just about the screenings. It's about creating buzz, getting people talking, and giving these films a chance to really connect with the audience.
And SBIFF seems to be really good at that, especially when it comes to Oscar buzz. I mean, think about Parasite. It wasn't even in English. And look what happened.
Exactly. And SBIFF isn't afraid to support films that might be considered outside the box.
Yeah, they're not afraid to take risks.
And that's what makes it so exciting, especially if you're a film buff looking for something new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's not forget those 32 world premieres happening this year. I'm already eyeing Ai Weiwei's Turandot. Weiwei is such an incredible artist and activist. I'm really curious to see his take on this classic opera.
It's those kinds of discoveries that make film festivals so special.
For sure.
You might go in thinking you'll see one thing, but you come out having experienced something totally different, something that blows your mind,
Okay, so we've talked about the films, the awards buzz, but what about the overall atmosphere? What's it actually like to be AE at SBIFF? Paint me a picture.
Okay, so imagine this. You're walking down State Street, the sun is shining, palm trees are swaying, and there's this electricity in the air, Everyone's excited. You see posters for all the new films, and there's this anticipation for the next screening or event.
Yeah, I can almost smell the popcorn and hear everyone talking about which films are the must-sees and who's going to be on the red carpet.
Exactly. It's that perfect mix of Hollywood glamour and genuine passion for film. You might bump into a famous director grabbing coffee or find yourself talking to another film lover about a documentary you both just saw.
Sounds like a great mix of laid-back California vibes and the excitement of being right at the heart of the film world.
It really is. And because SBIFF isn't as huge as some of the other festivals, there's a sense of intimacy, like you're part of this special community.
Okay, so for someone who's never been to SBIFF, what's the one thing they absolutely can't miss?
Oh, that's a tough one. But if I had to pick, I'd say try to go to at least one panel discussion.
Ooh, good choice. I was thinking the same thing. Which one are you most excited about?
Personally, I'm really drawn to the International Features panel. Hearing from these filmmakers from different cultures, talking about their creative process and how they get their stories out there, it's always fascinating to me.
Yeah, I get that. It's like seeing the world through someone else's eyes, through film.
Exactly.
I'm really intrigued by the women's panel this year. With Smriti Mundra and Diane Warren, it's going to be a powerful conversation about how women's roles in the industry are changing.
And those conversations are so important. They make us think critically about representation, inclusivity, and what the future of film will look like.
And it's inspiring to see a festival like SBIFF really making an effort to focus on those issues.
Yeah, they're definitely leading the way in creating a more diverse and inclusive space for filmmakers and film lovers.
Okay, so we've covered the films, the panels, the awards buzz, and the overall vibe. Anything else we should touch on before we move on?
Yeah, what really stands out to me about SBIFF? It's how dedicated they are to showing the whole process of filmmaking.
Yeah.
It's not just about, celebrating the final product. It's about understanding everything it took to get there.
And that's where those panel discussions become so important, right?
Mm.
We get to hear straight from the writers, the producers, the animators, the directors, everyone
Exactly.
about what inspires them, their struggles, their successes.
Exactly. Take the writers panel, for example.
Okay.
Think about all the different perspectives you'll get there. You have Mona Fastfold. She co-wrote The Brutalist,
Right.
a film about exile and identity. Then there's Peter Strawn, who adapted Conclave from the book, dealing with power and religion.
Yeah.
And then you have Jesse Eisenberg with his unique comedic style in A Real Pain. Just listening to them talk about their craft, it's like a masterclass in storytelling.
It's like getting a sneak peek behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Seeing how the magic happens.
Exactly.
And speaking of magic, the animation panel this year is looking incredible.
Yeah.
I mentioned Nick Park and Wallace and Gromit earlier.
Yeah.
But having Kelsey Mann from Inside Out 2, there's a real treat.
Oh, yeah. Inside Out was such a game changer, dealing with these, like, complicated emotions in a way that everyone could relate to, no matter how old they were.
I know, right?
I'm really curious to hear what Mann has to say about the sequel, how they're handling the pressure of following up on such a beloved film.
Me too.
Yeah.
And we can't forget the other big names on that panel, like Jinx Zilbalotis, who did all the animation for Flo himself,
Wow.
and Chris Sanders, who worked on Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon.
That's amazing. Talk about a talented group of people.
Right. Just the variety of animation styles represented on that panel is incredible. From Zilbalotis working solo to these massive studio productions from Pixar and DreamWorks, it shows you just how much animation can do.
It really does.
And it reminds us that animation isn't just for kids. It's a way to tell stories that can explore these deep, meaningful themes and connect with people on an emotional level.
Absolutely. And speaking of connecting with audiences around the world, the International Features Panel always brings something unique to SBIFF. This year, we have Jacques Audiard, a master of French cinema, Walter Salles, known for his Brazilian films like Central Station and The Motorcycle Diaries, and then Mohamed Rasulov, an Iranian filmmaker who tackles some really challenging political and social issues in his work.
Having those diverse voices represented, sharing their stories and perspectives, is what makes SBIFF such a rich and rewarding experience.
For sure. And SBIFF isn't afraid to highlight voices that are often overlooked or ignored. The women's panel, with filmmakers like Smriti Mundhra and Diane Warren, is going to be a powerful platform for discussing the challenges and triumphs of women in the film industry.
I'm really excited to hear from Diane Warren. She's a legend. She's written hits for so many huge artists.
I know, right?
Can't wait to hear her perspective on how she uses music to tell stories and make us feel something on screen.
And with Smriti Mundhra's background in documentaries, that panel could really explore the power of film to spark social change and give a voice to people who aren't always heard.
It's conversations like that, diving deep into the heart of filmmaking, that make SBIFF so much more than just your average film festival.
It really is a celebration of cinema in all its forms, a place for different perspectives, a chance to engage with the art of film on a deeper level.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into SBIFF 2025, I have one last question for you and for our listeners.
Okay.
With such an amazing lineup of films, panels, and events, what are you most excited about at SBIFF? What conversations are you eager to hear? What films are you dying to see?
You know, for me, it's about those unexpected discoveries, the films and filmmakers I wouldn't have found otherwise. It's about sharing that passion with other film lovers, having conversations that spark new ideas, and it's about getting a behind-the-scenes look at the creative process, deepening my appreciation for what goes into making a film.
I love that. I think you really captured the essence of SBIFF. It's all about embracing the unexpected, those thought-provoking discussions, immersing yourself in the world of cinema. So if you love film, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, SBI is an experience you won't want to miss. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Until next time.